In the Big 12 opening night of conference play from historic WVU Coliseum in Morgantown, West Virginia. Tonight, the Mountaineers welcome number 11 Texas Tech. The Red Raiders have never won in Morgantown, but they're the favorites here tonight. Hi again, everybody. Happy New Year. Alongside Tim Welsh, I'm Clay Matvick. It's great to have you with us here tonight. The big talk here in Morgantown, West Virginia is the hiring of a new football coach. But this should be right up there. We've got a pretty good basketball game to start Big 12 play. A Sweet 16 team, an Elite 8 team from last year.
Well, there's no doubt, but the big talk in Bob Huggins' locker room is that they have come out and played tough defense against a Texas Tech team that is for real. People thought losing 5 seniors and another player to the draft a year ago, they weren't going to be what they were a year ago, but they're headed in that direction.
Yeah, they've lost a lot from last year, but they've only got one loss, and that was to Duke, and they almost beat them.
Well, they did, and the thing is about Chris Beard's team is he has put his stamp on this program in a short period of time. Intense man-to-man defense and really great basketball from this man. Jared Culver has made himself an elite player in a short period of time at Texas Tech.
Duke pulled away in that final 6 minutes, but Coach K wrote Chris Beard a nice complimentary note after the game. He was so impressed. Doug Sermons, Bert Smith, Michael Stevens, the officiating crew here tonight as we're ready to go. West Virginia in their home white and Texas Tech in the road red. And the Red Raiders control the opening tip, trying to get off the schneid. They've never won in this building.
Davide Moretti is going to handle the point guard spot. How does he handle being the starter on the road? They are going to get up and pressure him with some traps in the full and half court. There's an open lane to the rim.
And Moretti gets the scoring started, the sophomore from Italy, with the first two.
The door just opened. Jordan McCabe just allowed him just to clear out a side and get all the way to the rim. No help on the backside, especially with Konate not playing tonight.
Yeah, Sags Konate is out again. He's got that knee injury. No timetable for his return. He's out indefinitely. This is the first time West Virginia opens Big 12 play at home since joining the league in 2012. And typical of the Coach Huggins team, he's going to substitute early and often.
It was pretty early, but that was a bad defensive play by McCabe and a pass that was a little bit too shaky as well from a point guard.
There's the walk-on, Logan Rout from Cameron, West Virginia. This is his 6th start of the year, and he's got West Virginia on the board.
Well, Rout will start, but they'll bring in Derek Culver, and he's going to be an important piece as they head into Big 12 play. Playing is only his 3rd game tonight.
First true road game for Texas Tech. This is Tariq Owens, the transfer, to another transfer, Matt Mooney, who transferred in from South Dakota. He spins, the floater doesn't go. He draws the contact. Mooney will go to the line. Konate with that right knee injury out for West Virginia, the all-time leader in block shots. It's a big piece that's sitting on the bench for Coach Huggins. 14 points, 8 rebounds, not to mention how good he is defending around the rim.
Well, had that huge game in their win in the backyard brawl against Pittsburgh. We just so dominant, not only on the backboards, but blocking shots as well. And extended his range this year, makes threes, but has that knee soreness, and there's really no timetable for his return.
So here's Brandon Napper working the point. That has been a sore spot for West Virginia this year. Of course, they lost Javon Carter. Now it's blocked out of bounds by Lawrence Odiase for Texas Tech. I'm happy to have the senior from Fort Worth back. Odiase did not play against Rio Grande Valley. He had some hip pain the other night. They work it inside on the inbound of Wesley Harris, the junior from Jackson, Mississippi, is fouled and will go to the line.
Wesley Harris really has been the most consistent player as of late, with Konate being out, a guy that can go get a bucket, can slash to the rim, get to the free throw line. And you mentioned it, Clay, Javon Carter. Listen, nobody was going to replace him right out of the gate, but they need somebody to step up and be more consistent. And it's going to be Beetle Bolden, even though he's more comfortable at the 2-guard spot.
Bob's in his 12th year now. 65-year-old future Hall of Famer. 853 wins. That's 7th all time. 3rd among active coaches. He has been in a fiery spirit the last few weeks, to say the least.
I think it was rather cordial.
He was good today.
This afternoon.
We got him on one of his better days here in recent weeks. Oh, there's a good block defensively by Ahmad. He's Ahmad holding his own on the baseline. Now he's hemmed in on the other end, and he travels.
Sees us, he gets in a good mood, Clay, because he usually thinks of wins when I'm around.
You had some good battles in your days with Huggy.
Thinking back to the Big East days.
When you were at Providence and
it's usually
at Cincinnati.
It's only a battle when it goes back and forth, when one team wins a little bit and the other team wins a little bit. But it's not a battle when one team wins all the games.
And of course, when he was at West Virginia in the early days here,
I'll tell you what, it was
his
fun.
record against you is what? Do you know?
I tell you what, no, I don't know what it is, but it's about like Texas Tech's record here in this building. But I tell you what, and Chris Beard talked about it, it's fun coaching against Bob Huggins because you really got to prepare for a toughness type game, the mental approach. But it's clean, it's hard fought, but at the end it's great sportsmanship.
There's your first turnover for Texas Tech. Chris Beard talking about how tonight starts an 18-game journey for his team and for all the teams in the Big 12. And he says he's going to learn a lot about his team here in the first couple games of league play.
I think he learned a lot about his team that night in Madison Square Garden, where they went toe-to-toe with Duke. You know, they turned the ball over 24 times, which is really something they never do. They usually turn it over about 12 times a game, but they learned a lot. They had about 5,000 fans in the Garden, and as you said, Coach K had the ultimate compliment to them after the game.
Harris misses the shot. 3 minutes in, 4-3 Texas Tech. Here's Jared Culver. He's been in double figures every game this season for the Red Raiders, including 25 against Duke.
Well, Harris doing a really good job. At 6'8", he's giving Culver some problems right now with his length.
And it's a turnover as Harris gives it away. There's Chris Beard, 3rd season at Texas Tech. Took the Red Raiders to the Elite Eight, of course, last year. Shared the Big 12 Coach of the Year award with Bill Self.
Well, it's all about the mental approach with Chris, and he talks about it. He said every day he kind of takes on that underdog role with his whole group over there, coaches, players, the bus driver who came all the way from Lubbock, drove 20 hours to make sure Texas Tech had their own bus here. And everybody's got to have mental toughness.
Well, gas is cheap right now. Brandon Francis with the steal, 2nd West Virginia turnover. Edwards kicks it out for Mooney for an open look at 3. How about the follow by Owens? The 6'10 St. John's transfer flushes it down.
Well, West Virginia never got matched up in transition, and that's what happens when you take that quick shot, you reverse the ball, you kick it back out, you're not in good blockout position.
6'3 Texas Tech. Here's Derek Culver now, and he floats it in. Big-time freshman out of Brewster Academy. This is just his 3rd college game, and Bob Huggins really thinks he can be something special.
He needs to be special. With Kanate out for an extended period of time, he is the really only rim protector guy that can throw the ball to around the rim to finish and get fouled.
Deshaun Corprew in there, the physical sophomore guard for Texas Tech. Backdoor pass to Francis, and it fell short on the rim.
Good job by Harlett just to get a piece of that backdoor bounce pass.
Bolden the turnaround, and Beetle Bolden, who's been playing banged up with a sore hand, knocks down his first points.
The Energizer off the bench, more comfortable at the 2, but has to be a scorer even from the point guard spot.
And West Virginia with its first lead of the basketball game.
Harlan really up on Mooney on the perimeter.
There's Corprew, bumped by Ahmad. And that's going to be the first foul on Issa Ahmad. And that brings us to our first media timeout here in Morgantown. West Virginia has gone in front here at home. It's 7-6 Mountaineers.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
West Virginia leads at 7-6 here early. It's been a grind of a season so far for the Mountaineers. Injuries, a suspension, inconsistent backcourt play, all leading to an 8-4 record. And much of the last 2 months, Hugs has been looking for new leaders. We kind of talked about that. More than anything, though, Coach, he wants his guys playing hard, and this was his quote recently.
Well, there's no doubt about it. If you play for that man, you better play hard, and that's been the struggle for him to get consistent play every day in practice to kind of grind it out. And you just look at their numbers. You know, their turnover numbers are not good. Their rebounding numbers are way down from a year ago. And you say you lost Carter and Miles, they should still be a good rebounding team, especially offensive rebounding. That's where they were terrific a year ago. So Hugs is trying to pull that out of them at this point.
Tariq Owens misses the long-range shot. Nobody there for Texas Tech on the offensive glass, and Beetle Bolden brings it into the front court.
But the other part of that, Clay, it's really hard to be consistent when you don't have consistent practice as far as bodies out there. They've had really tons of injuries all season long, with Kanate and Bolden being the main guys, and when they're not there out there every day of practice, they can't establish that mentality that you need.
Lamont West hits the three. He has been struggling from outside, so that's a good sign for the Mountaineers as they go up by 4. Now here's Culver cut off. Cross for Edwards. Moretti. And Tariq Owens is foul going for the rebound.
So far, though, Wesley Harris, his length at 6'8" against Jarrett Culver at 6'5", really giving him some problems. Really using his hands, using his long arms, getting up in the passing lanes, pushing him out a couple steps more that he wants to catch it. He's trying to catch the ball right at the three-point line and then attack. And he is not letting him get any clean looks on the wing.
Here's Moretti, who's added 10 pounds of muscle since last season. This is Kyler Edwards. Texas Tech finished tied for second in the Big 12 last year, picked 7th this year after losing all that talent. And the rebound comes into the hands of Andrew Gordon, the JUCO transfer.
Gordon, nice job with that help right in the middle of the floor, building that wall. Culver had to shoot over the top.
Jermaine Haley also into the game now for West Virginia. Now Gordon has it poked away. That's going to be a foul against the Mountaineers.
Well, that's what happens, and that's what Hugs has been talking about. Some of these guys trying to do things they can't do. He's trying to get Lamont West just to be a catch-and-shoot guy. He wants to put it on the floor. That's when he turns it over. There you have Andrew Gordon catching the ball 15 feet from the basket with his back to the basket, trying to spin on somebody, and that is not his game.
So it's the 4th team foul on West Virginia. West Virginia finished December with a couple wins over Jacksonville State and Lehigh. But overall, it was a tough month. Ball loose on the floor. Bob Huggins will appreciate that. And then they turn it right back, and here's Moretti ahead of the pack. Moretti can't finish. And it's going to go to West Virginia.
Well, Beetle Bolden made the mistake on one end, but he stayed with the play. Moretti kind of slowed up like he was trying to get fouled and just took his eye off the target, kind of had his head down and was looking for the foul. Look, his head's down here. He looks back at Bolden instead of just exploding to the rim, and Bolden with the block.
West Virginia has hit its last 3 field goal attempts. They lead it by 4. The opener here in Big 12 play. We get a foul on Texas Tech. That's Jarrett Culver, and that's his second. So Culver gets into early foul trouble, and Chris Beard is chewing on Michael Stevens here there on the sideline.
Well, Culver off the ball gave a little forearm shiver there on a cut through the middle, and you cannot chuck cutters. And Sometimes you get away with it, but the freedom of movement does not allow that.
So we'll see what West Virginia can do with the star player for the Red Raiders off the floor. And now Gordon travels underneath. Couldn't get his footing. And the 5th giveaway for West Virginia.
Well, that's the problem, though, on the passer here. When you watch this on the perimeter, Andrew Gordon is posted up not in a good position. They give him the ball down in the box. It's not really on the box. He's 2 or 3 steps off the box, and he really has nowhere to go there. He's not that type of player where he can put the ball on the floor. He's got to carve out space right by the rim.
Comes that earmarked press of West Virginia.
Well, they're going to go after him already. There's no doubt about it.
Odiasi gives it to Mooney. He drives, falling away. That's a tough shot from Matt Mooney, and he got it.
Now, Mooney is born to score, as they say, the transfer from South Dakota. And Odiasi didn't even turn and look at the rim. He had an open lane, but found Mooney on the perimeter.
Over 1,500 career points at Air Force in South Dakota before landing at Texas Tech. Chris Beard says he's the most popular guy in that Red Raiders locker room. You can see that often from transfers. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Bolden. And there's a foul. Foul on the court. Timeout on the floor with 11:25 to go in the half. When we come back, Tim's going to take off on the change in LA. Tim's take is next. Approaching the midway point of the first half. West Virginia by 2 back here in Morgantown. New year, new opinions from Tim Welsh. Let's get our first Tim's take of 2019. UCLA fires Steve Alford. What's your take?
My take is Steve was there 5 years. He went to 4 NCAA tournaments, 3 Sweet 16s. But at UCLA, that's not enough. And Steve knows that. You know that going into the job. It's a high-pressure job, high profile, as we all know. But the expectations are get to the Final Four every few years and win a national championship if you can. And that's why Ben Howland was dismissed there. He didn't win enough for them. So where do they go? It's interesting, but they'll have a slew of candidates. They went out and got Chip Kelly. That's very impressive to me, football-wise. So the commitment's going to be there. If you fire the coach in the middle of the season, that means you want something. And they're going to pay Steve, obviously, a lot of money not to coach. They paid Jim Moore a lot of money not to coach.
So he can't turn up here at Morgantown as the football coach, you're telling me?
No, it sounds like they're going to recommit some of the things they're doing, both football and basketball, which would be good to see at UCLA. But Steve will land somewhere. He's a very good coach and very well respected as well.
Under 11 minutes to go here in the first half. Conference opener here in the Big 12. Number 11, Texas Tech from West Virginia. Tough place to come in and win. Texas Tech has never won here. 0-6. Lamont West with his second 3 for West Virginia, adding to the lead.
When he has his feet set, he just spaces the floor a little bit in that deep corner. That's when he is very dangerous. When he tries to do too much with the basketball, that's when he gets himself in trouble. But so far tonight, he has been good at stopping and popping, and now defense with the deflections.
Signature West Virginia defense. I think you alluded to it before. You can't play hard enough on the defensive end for Bob Huggins-Leighton. This is the biggest lead now for West Virginia. And here's a look at that last 3 by Lamont West, who has been struggling from outside until now.
Yeah, he's taking his time here. They do a good job of just spacing the floor. It's a little baseline screen, and he's got that length, and he shoots right over the top. Mooney's on him, but at 6'3", cannot defend the long 6'8" West.
Veteran from Cincinnati. Bob Huggins continues to have an impact recruiting-wise in that fair city. Here's Culver now, feeds the corner for Moretti. His 3 is off the mark, and Texas Tech continues to struggle scoring. Team known for its defense. Brandon Francis, though, flashing on the offensive end.
Now, the second chance opportunities. Culver did not put a body on Tariq Owens, and that kept the play alive.
First 2 for Francis, the senior from the Dominican Republic. Played a year at Florida for Billy Donovan. West looking inside. This is Culver. Derek Culver, the true freshman, going to work. Got it in one.
Well, this is what they did not do on a couple other possessions where Culver got better position. See him right on the box, allows him to drop step, and he's right at the rim. He has that soft touch with the left. Faces, little bounce, little head and shoulder fake to the right, and you know he can come back both hands. He's a very capable passer as well from that spot.
Doesn't hit the free throw, but he had a double-double against Lehigh, 11 points, 11 rebounds, 6 offensive rebounds, which just tickled Huggy. Now it's off the back iron. And Tech 4 of 14 from the field now.
Well, I asked Hugs today, I said, can Culver be the guy down in the low box in the middle for you? He said, he has to be.
Yeah. Pretty thin, like you said, without Konate. That's deflected by Culver. We'll stay on this end with 12 on the shot clock. Well, Saturday at 8 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app, ACC play underway as Clemson tips off against Zion Williamson and #1 Duke, a terrific Duke team as we've been talking about. Last Clemson win in Durham 24 years ago. It's been a while.
Well, Chris Beard talked about the Duke game today, you know, the turnovers. And he said, were you upset? And he said, well, they kind of make you play that way. He said they make it happen. He gave Duke all the credit in the world for their lack of good offensive execution down the stretch.
4 to shoot. Bolden. Tough shot. Corporal with the rebound.
And he never got into anything on that set. You have to have a lot of movement against Texas Tech because they're always in good help side position. There's a great steal.
Bolden spinning, got it, and he'll go to the line for the bonus. Beetle Bolden, the junior from Covington, Kentucky, doing it on both ends.
Well, Beetle Bolden is all beat up. He's got a bad wrist, he's got bad legs, he's got a bad shoulder, bad ribs, and this is why, because he just throws his body all over the floor and finishes at the rim.
Last time out for Bolden, he had a career-high 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists against Lehigh.
You talk about the tone set in practice. You know, losing Javon Carter last year, he set the tone. I mean, every day he's the first guy in, the last guy to leave. And if you didn't play hard in practice, he would take your heart out. And Beetle Bolden can be that type of player, but the problem is he has not been in practice because he's been so banged up.
And when he has been healthy, he's been playing a little out of position.
Absolutely, and you see his ability to score off the bounce and from the perimeter.
That's a first on Jermaine Haley. And the 6th team foul against West Virginia, so Texas Tech will be at the line for the rest of the half.
Well, he's playing Mooney way too tight out of the perimeter. He's got to use his length. At 6'7", he can take a step off and still be able to contest Mooney out at the three-point line.
This is Kyler Edwards, 4-star recruit. I think that was a pass intended for Owens, but well off the mark. Now West Virginia ahead. Under 8 to go here in the half. 8-point lead for the Mountaineers. These two teams met in the Big 12 tournament last year. West Virginia knocked out the Red Raiders. There's Culver battling around the glass again. Loose ball, and there's contact underneath and a hard foul. So we've got a timeout with 7:39 to go in the half.
Well, Beetle Bolden's so important defensively, energy-wise, toughness, and giving up his body for the hug.
Texas Tech has one of the best defenses in the country. They're keeping teams to 52 points per game, but Chris Beard's got a problem on his hands right now as Jared Culver and Tariq Owens, 2 of his starters, each have 2 fouls. It was Owens who picked up that last personal just ahead of the break.
Well, West Virginia is getting after it on both ends of the floor. You know, their offense is never pretty, but they're doing what they need to do on defense. They're playing a long lineup, kind of 1 guard and 3 big forwards and a big man in Culver. And their length so far has given Texas Tech some problems.
So Culver comes back out on the floor for the Red Raiders out of their timeout. Owens sits down with the 2 personal fouls. West Virginia leading by 8. Mountaineers have hit 6 of their last 8 shots. Shot clock under 10. This is Haley. And another foul away from the ball, and this is going to go against West Virginia.
Now Culver just tried to back in, and Odiase, the old veteran, just sold it down on the box. And Culver just not experienced enough yet just to kind of spin off. When he feels that resistance, he's got to use that quickness and his length to kind of reposition himself on the box.
Turnovers starting to mount now for West Virginia. That's 8, but they give it back. Does Texas Tech. Boy, the Red Raiders have really struggled here offensively. They're a team that doesn't score a ton of points anyway, but they haven't been able to find a lot of rhythm on their end of the floor.
Jared Culver was back in the game on that possession, so this looks like he's going to play a little offense defense here for the last 7 minutes with Jared Culver. He knows he can't keep him out too long because they really don't have anybody to go to, especially with Mooney struggling a little bit with that length on the perimeter.
First on Mooney.
Matt Mooney came to Texas Tech to do one thing: play in March. And he's done a lot in his college career already. Chris Beard said he has been amazing for his team on and off the court.
A lot of similarities between Vermillion, South Dakota, and Lubbock, Texas. Not the size, but culture. He feels like he's a good fit there. As Harris misses at the line.
I've only been to lovely Lubbock. I haven't been to South Dakota in a while.
Vermillion's great this time. And this belongs to West Virginia. It's been a 3-minute scoring drought for the Red Raiders, and Chris Beard's going to try and tackle that.
He's going to leave Jared Culver in. Instead of going offense, defense, he's going to just let him play it out. And I like that. He's a smart player. Even though he's a sophomore, he's experienced enough to know that he's got to stay away from that third.
Bolden misses the 3. Here comes Mooney in transition. Mooney spins, can't finish, and Rout clears the rebound for the Mountaineers.
As good a look as Mooney's had all game long, he just couldn't finish. Sometimes that length will bother you. And another turnover.
Off the steal, Mooney this time is able to capitalize.
West Virginia just not get any flow offensively. He's got one man with the ball, 4 players watching, and they need to get some movement on both sides of the floor without the basketball.
Driving, Harris, well defended by Odiase.
That's what Texas Tech does. They give that help early.
Mooney feeds Francis for 3. Just one look for the Raiders.
One-side offense will not work against Texas Tech because they are in great help side position. It's almost like a pack line type defense. Not quite, but it's 10 eyes on the basketball. They really attack it. Nobody, see, their heads are on a swivel. Everybody knows where the ball is at all times.
Bolden had it poked away. Good man-to-man defense there that time by Texas Tech. 8 on the shot clock. Monday at 8 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. Number 2 Clemson, number 1 Alabama. The college football playoff national championship game presented by AT&T. It'll be their 3rd title game in 4 seasons between these two. They've split the previous showdown. Should be great. Who do you like?
Oh, I like Clemson. Going with Clemson. I feel like the ACC was better than people thought this year, and Alabama's right for the taking, which may be a foolish statement going against Nick Saban in this game.
A lot of people like Clemson. Well, this is bad news for Texas Tech. Owens just picked up his 3rd foul. So Chris Beard gambled by putting Owens back in, and gamble doesn't pay off as Owens now has 3 personals, and Beard is going to have to go right back to the bench.
Now he's got Odiase, but you know, Tariq Owens, a 5th-year player. You just got to keep yourself out of that situation, and sometimes you get hand-to-hand combat around the rim, and you just have those instincts to go after block shots, and the defend around the rim, and sometimes it happens. But I like the fact that he put both of them back in the game with 2.
That's an offensive foul.
That's the problem. It's not on the defensive end of the floor, but you have an offensive, explosive player like Culver putting his head down, going all the way to the rim from the top of the key. The help's coming, and now you put it in the hands of the officials.
Culver with 3, Owens with 3.
That's a very good call. Buda Bolden took one right in the chest.
Now West Virginia will try to go to work here with under 5 minutes before halftime. There's Buda Bolden. This is a chance for West Virginia to really run away. The 2 stars on the bench for Texas Tech. 7 now for Bolden. Francis, strong. Rebound, Culver.
Culver, you see what he gives him. He just gives him that big body. Presents himself on the box.
Harler misses from 3. Edwards wants to run. Corcoran on the baseline. Good adjustment, but nothing to show for it.
They have missed a ton of shots, point blank. And some of it has been self-inflicted, but a lot of it has been because West Virginia is present in the neighborhood with long defenders contesting.
Texas Tech is shooting 26% here in the half. Harris. Let's go back to Texas Tech, fouling West Virginia. 21-12 Mountaineers. Foul trouble abounds for the Red Raiders. Culver averages 20. He's got none tonight. Did not like the charge call on Jared Culver.
Well, he's trying to work Doug Sermons in now. Trying to understand why the charge was called. But listen, we all know the charge call is a 50-50 call. And I think this is a good call. Looks like Buda Bolden is there. He might have moved a little bit, but that's hard to see from this angle. But what's not hard to see, that's a bad play by Jared Culver. You cannot put yourself in that position and put yourself in the hands of the official. And that's what he did by just putting his head down from the perimeter. He's got to know. He's got to stop. He's got to field the defender and try to shoot over the top, not get all the way to the rim with 2 fouls.
Lawrence Odiasi at the line for the Red Raiders. You look at that line there for Culver. No points, but he's only taken the 1 shot, too.
Well, we talked about it earlier. Wesley Harris has done an amazing job with him, and we talked to Hugs and the staff earlier today. They said Harris is going to be the guy. He's going to be the guy who's going to try to get up and deny him on the perimeter, try to push him out to like 23 feet, make him a dribbler from out there, and then they're going to give a lot of help.
Wesley Harris has had a good first part of the year here for the Mountaineers. Here's Rout. Walk-on, feeding it outside for West. Doesn't get the shot. Rout gets the rebound, gives West another chance, and he draws the contact in the corner. And that fouls on Lawrence Odiasi.
Lamont West has taken his time tonight. He missed both of those. The second one he got fouled, but this is what the staff wants him to do. He just kind of be a spot-up guy on the perimeter, and this is what he can do. Sells it over there in the deep corner for 3 shots.
That's the second personal on Odiasi. Tenth team foul on Texas Tech. Mount West, pretty good foul shooter, 83%. He's missed both of the attempts he's had so far. He's got 1 more coming.
Such a dangerous shooter. He gets called because Odiasi kind of gets in his path when he comes down and steps on him.
Now West gets 1 of 3. Seven points for West. Lead is 8 for West Virginia. Edwards is bumped. The fouls keep coming. This one's on Chase Harlow, his second. Ninth team foul on West Virginia.
At the line for Texas Tech,
West Virginia picked third in the Big 12, as we talked about earlier, Tim. They lost to Kansas in last year's Big 12 title game. Kansas won the regular season last year for the 14th straight year. They're favored again.
We'll discuss later who may be able to dethrone the Jayhawks, as we do every year. It seems like it's wasted energy.
Corprew hit that shot on the baseline. We're going to see Kansas a little bit later here tonight on ESPN2 as they host Oklahoma. A couple of top 25 teams. Three-pointer. It's off the mark that time for West.
West Virginia has to be careful. They gave up the offensive rebound on the free throw, and now they're just kind of in a rout, and they continue to foul.
And Francis will go back to the line. First on West. Two foul shots coming here for Francis.
At the line for Texas Tech, shooting two, Brandon Francis.
Francis 7 of 10 at the line this year.
Brandon Francis has been a nice transfer for Texas Tech. A guy who can really pass the ball, understands motion offense.
Saturday at noon Eastern on ESPN2. Number 3 Eastern Washington, number 1 North Dakota State, battling for the FCS football championship from Frisco, Texas. The Bison of North Dakota State, the defending champs, of course. They've won 6 of the last 7 years in the FCS. It'll be the last game at North Dakota State for Chris Kleiman. He's headed to Kansas State to be the head coach there, replacing Bill Snyder, the legend. Tough job, tough act to follow. Turned over. Francis goes in, got it, and one. And Issa Ahmad, I don't like the call, but that's the way it is. It's actually Haley.
Nice job by Chris Beard. Kind of a sneak press right off that free throw, and a 1-2-2, and a little loose with the basketball, and Haley just kind of telegraphed that pass. Everybody in the building knows it's going in the middle of the floor, and you've got to reverse it, try to attack the middle, and then throw over the top of that press.
Haley's going to go out, and Emmett Matthews, true freshman from Tacoma, Washington, is going to come in for the first time. That's going to go against Texas Tech. First on Corprew. So Texas Tech has pulled within 3, a chance to tie. West Virginia's gone cold. They started 6 of 8 from the field, and now 2 for their last 10.
Welch was upset with Chase Harler on that last turnover against the press. He thought he stood and waited for the ball instead of coming up and meeting it. Obviously, he's in the middle of the floor because he's a good ball handler, but he kind of just had his feet stuck to the ground, and Texas Tech up on their toes defensively.
Free throw shooting has been a problem here in the first half for West Virginia. Now 4 of 11 from the line. Missed them both. And you can see the steam starting to rise on Bob Huggins' head. In the corner, Moretti kisses it off the window, doesn't go. Bolden pushing the tempo for the Mountaineers. Lost the handle, and Mooney takes it back.
Not too much dribbling by Beetle Bolden. He didn't look to score or pass. He just kept pounding into the ground, and Texas Tech got him from behind.
Mooney looking for help. Gets it out to Corprew. Plenty of time on the clock. Drives. Boy, how many of those has Texas Tech missed here so far?
Did a good job of defending at the rim, West, but just could not secure the rebound.
So Issa Ahmad comes back in for West Virginia. Chris Beard, ever since he lit into the officials after that call on Culver, Texas Tech has kind of woken up. Of course, West Virginia hasn't helped themselves.
No, and both teams really not good on the offensive end, but it's mostly been caused by very, very good defense. And Bob Huggins got to be really concerned losing this lead with Culver on the bench.
Who's going to be madder, Chris Beard or Bob Huggins at the half?
Beard's probably going to be a little happier that this lead is down to 3 right now with Owens, Odiasi, and Culver all on the bench, and they are really small out there on the floor.
Golden correcting traffic. Harler gets it inside to Ahmad. He's quickly double teamed, then throws an elbow. That's an offensive foul on Issa Ahmad, and that looked like a pretty good call.
Issa Ahmad, that's just inexcusable. As a senior, he's got to do a much better job of finding space down in the box. I mean, Texas Tech's tallest player on the floor is Brandon Francis at 6'5", so he can go down around the basket and make some things happen at 6'8". Instead, just tries to bull his way through, and now they're going to look to see if that's a flagrant.
Issa Ahmad, leading scorer for West Virginia. 14 points, 6 rebounds. He has no points in this game as of yet.
Well, Texas Tech does a real good job of not allowing the post players of West Virginia to get good space down on the low box. And that time, Texas Tech, that's what they're going to do. You see Tyler Edwards at 6'3", trying to guard Ahmad. I don't think that's flagrant. I think that's just an offensive foul. He really sold it. He's trying to clear a little space.
I think Brandon Francis did a pretty good acting job there too. But there's no doubt he threw his elbow. I just don't think it's a flagrant foul.
Well, when they look at it for more than 30 seconds, then they don't know. So they're going to have to huddle. Re-huddle, convene.
Well, Texas Tech coming off its best season of program history. 27 wins and a trip to the Elite Eight. Down 3. And Doug Sermons just came over to the table. What did he tell you?
Common foul. It's
no flagrant foul.
Move on. Get a little life in this game. Hopefully, stop going to the free throw line.
That's not likely to happen. Any fouls are going to send the teams to the line, both in the double bonus. That's the second foul on Issa Ahmad, by the way.
I'll tell you what, the new coaches at West Virginia and Texas Tech football are going to expect to score more points in the half than these two teams have today.
And Mooney is fouled going to the rim. So Matt Mooney will go to the line.
Chase Harler calls for personal and third. At the line for Texas Tech, Matt
Third on Harlan.
shooting a pick.
So now he's the first to 3 for West Virginia.
Clearly, Clay, you could see what the game plan is for Texas Tech, especially with Jared Culver out of the game. And they're going with a smaller lineup. They're trying to space the floor, and they're usually a passing type team. And now they're just spacing, and they're trying to attack off the bounce against West Virginia's length and try to get to the rim and get fouled.
First miss at the line for Mooney. Lead is 2 for West Virginia. They have gone cold. .50 seconds to play in the half. Napper for 3. Loose ball, and it will be West Virginia's Lamont West coming out of there with it. About a 1 second difference between game and shot clock. Timeout, Bob Huggins in West Virginia. And we're going to take a quick timeout. 2-point game in Morgantown.
Texas Tech has crawled back into this game, down by only 2, but it's Jared Culver. That's the story tonight. He has not scored. It's been really good defense by West Virginia, not only individually by Wesley Harris, but a good team effort, attacking him off the bounce, making him catch it where he's not comfortable. He's picked up a couple fouls on the defensive end, and then he got that third on the charge.
So Culver's got 3 fouls. Tariq Owens 3 fouls for Texas Tech. Chase Harler for West Virginia has 3. It's been a foul-laden first period. About a 1-second difference between game and shot clock. So West Virginia can take it almost all the way down.
Imagine going to try to get Beetle-Bold and Lamont West on the same side of the floor for a 3 or a drive and kick from Beetle.
This is Beetle Bolden, watched by Mooney. Stepping back, Bolden for 3. Left it short. 1 second. And that's going to be the way the first half comes to an end. An uneventful close to a sloppy, choppy first half. 22-20 at the half. Lowest scoring first half for either team this year. West Virginia by 2. Coming up after the break, we're going to join the studio for the college basketball halftime report. Had 7 points in the first half for West Virginia. They lead at the break, and boy, were points hard to come by in that first 20 minutes here in Morgantown. Alongside Tim Welsh, I'm Clay Matvick. Not exactly the way you want to start the Big 12 campaign. I mean, it was ugly at times for both of these teams.
Well, normally you might say, well, if it's good defense, you know, you're a defensive-minded coach and you love it, but it really wasn't. It was just sloppy offense, a lot of fouling, disjointed on both ends of the floor, no flow. Get to the free throw line, a lot of turnovers. The best player in the building has no points because Wesley Harris did a first great job on him right from the get-go, and then he got himself in trouble on the defensive end of the floor with a couple fouls, a couple ticky-tackers, and then he attacked on the perimeter, and he got himself in deep problems with the charge going all the way to the rim. But listen, here's a warning. Look away. Those stats are ugly, man. 22 turnovers, 15 field goals, 2 for 17 from the 3. Oh, it can only get better, Clay.
Well, Jared Culver certainly hopes so. He picked up 3 fouls in the first half, spent a lot of time on the bench. He has no points so far tonight. The games you've got to win to compete for a championship in the Big 12. This is a game that hasn't been pretty so far. West Virginia leading by 2 at the break. 22-20 as we get started here in the second half. And Culver's going to start this half on the bench for Texas Tech. Tariq Owens is in the game. Both of those players have 3 fouls.
Well, they grinded back into the game with Culver on the bench. Their offense just been on the attack off the bounce, but it's been their defense. Better movement that time by West Virginia, but again, missed the easy one.
Ahmad got close to the rim, couldn't finish. And then a foul on Rout. Logan Rout with his first.
Make a nice cut, nice delivery from Rout to Ahmad, and just gets all the way to the rim and just can't finish. And that's just makes that guy steam.
24 combined fouls in that first half. We're also 22 combined turnovers. Nice shot fake for Davide Moretti. Got the basket and won. As Haley commits the bad foul on the perimeter.
Just a horrendous play by Haley. I mean, a great move by Moretti. Just pump fake, gets the defender in the air. Okay, you got to take your medicine. Now you run out. You have no chance of contesting that. And he just whacks him right across the face. He's lucky he doesn't get that looked at and possible flagrant.
And that's his 3rd personal foul.
Look at this. Boom. Right across the middle of the face.
And Moretti with the 4-point play, and Texas Tech with the lead.
The great thing is Haley said, I didn't touch him. He didn't touch him. He whacked him right across the middle of the face.
First lead for the Red Raiders since it was 6-5 Texas Tech. That's rejected by Owens. He's the best shot blocker in the Big East the last 2 years. And that's a shot clock violation. Good defense by Texas Tech. That's what they're known for.
Tariq Owens will come up and attack you. And this is what Texas Tech does defensively as a whole. They really look at them surround the basketball. 4 defenders right there to protect.
Tariq Owens with 30 blocks on the year now. He had a school record 8 against Memphis earlier this season. But again, he's playing with 3 fouls. Moretti turned up a wide open look at a 3. Culver drives and scores. So Jared Culver on the board for the first time tonight.
It's the first time tonight that Wesley Harris kind of got caught out of position. He overextended on the denial, allowing that lane to the rim by Culver.
West Virginia doesn't have a field goal since the 4:53 mark of the first half. They still don't. Edwards to Mooney. Owens drives around Rout, and he'll get a trip to the line. As Rout has 2 early ones here in the second half.
That's kind of a mismatch out on the perimeter. That's where Owens is pretty tough because he can make that shot. So you've got to close out on him, and Rout's just not quick enough to slide and defend off the bounce to the rim.
Well, Chris Beard wants Tariq Owens to be a scorer as well as a defender and shot blocker. Told him to trust his shot more.
So you've got to go out and play Owens because he can make this shot. Very good squaring up and just off the bounce just took Rout right to the rack.
6'10" transfer from St. John's. That's them both. And the lead is 5 for Texas Tech. Check that, 6 points. The biggest lead of the game. Now they've got it back. Mooney. And Ahmad is tied up by Odiase, and that's going to be a foul on Norris Odiase. Kind of picked up where we left off in the first half there.
Well, West Virginia very fortunate after the sloppy turnover. Mooney kind of got bumped on the baseline there. They didn't call it, and they've got to get their house in order very quickly. Maybe try to go into Culver and see if he can take the ball right to Owens. Maybe Owens backs up a little bit with the 3 fouls, get West Virginia an easy basket at the rim.
3 starters with 3 fouls now for the Red Raiders. Ahmad going right to work on Owens. And that's going to be a foul on Tariq Owens, his 4th.
Now that's what we were talking about. Very, very smart play by Issa Ahmad, just taking it right to Owens. And this is where Owens is a 5th-year senior. He's got to understand you cannot be in that position. You got to back up. Your duty is to be the shot blocker, but you can't be blocking shots when you're on the bench, and that's where he's going.
West Virginia has been horrendous at the line so far tonight. 4 of 13 now, as Ahmad misses another one for the Mountaineers. And there goes Owens to the bench. Boy, Bob Huggins is beside himself on that West Virginia sideline. He can't believe how bad the Mountaineers are at the line tonight.
The thing is, you never take that in stride, but you may a little bit if you're scoring, but they've struggled just to get any type of offense going.
In and out for Francis. There's a foul underneath on West Virginia. Check that. That was actually on Edwards. Pardon me. And that's his 2nd. But Issa Ahmad, their leading scorer, No points tonight for West Virginia.
West Virginia's got to get organized against this pressure. They've been very shaky with the basketball, trying to beat it off the bounce with long passes.
Not even 3 minutes into the second half, each team with 3 personal fouls. Six seconds on the shot clock.
That was disjointed at best. It was bodies flying, the ball all over the place, and again, no flow on either end.
And there's a reach-in foul on Mooney. I'm sure this was part of the game plan for Texas Tech to have a low-scoring game, but I don't think this is exactly what they had in mind as far as the foul trouble, especially with their starting guys.
Well, West Virginia has to take advantage. They've got to try to space it and beat their man off the dribble, and another foul. This time on Harris on the push-off.
And Davide Moretti is shaken up. That's the second on Harris. Owens with 4, Culver with 3, Odiase with 3. All starters for Texas Tech.
Wesley Harris tried to just square up Moretti, and Moretti kind of took one in the chest, I believe. He's really up on. He's up on Harris there. I don't. Now the offensive player too. He reaches in first, and he gets up into the cylinder of the offensive player, and I don't believe that should be a flagrant.
Real quick, off the top of your head, how many fouls combined? Just real quick, hurry up.
25.
32 fouls so far in this game.
Trying to be positive in 2019. It's one of my
is that one of your resolutions?
Yeah, I guess we have time to talk about resolutions, the college football playoff.
Who West Virginia is going to hire for a football coach?
Whatever. We'll talk about that. All the NFL jobs that are open.
What is your New Year's resolution, by the way? Watch more football?
Watch a little of the playoffs. Watch the playoffs. Hope the Patriots get to the Super Bowl again.
By the way, Dana Holgerson has been confirmed as the new head coach at Houston, so he has gone from Morgantown.
It's always a problem when your coach doesn't come back on the flight from the bowl.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bad sign. Mike Stevens came over and informed us just an offensive foul. Good decision. Normally I'd get annoyed and complain about all these calls, but they're all good calls. It's just
been that kind of game.
It's just a disjointed offense, a lot of reaching and grabbing, and the players have to. Oh, now a technical.
And that's on Harris.
To it.
Harris committed the foul, and now he's been teed up. That's his third, by the way. And he said something that Doug Sermons heard and didn't like. And now Bob Huggins is giving Doug Sermons more than I'm sure he doesn't like to hear.
He reaches in. Good call. Culver goes to drive baseline on him, and he gets into his body. So that part, that is a good call, and obviously we don't know, but you know, the demonstration.
Matt Mooney at the line to shoot these foul shots. It's the first technical to go. Texas Tech will have the ball. That's the fourth, I should say, on Harris, counting the technical.
Well, that's the problem. You know, you get upset about a foul call. A little bit of an issue with the third, but the fourth, now you're sitting over there for a while, and now your best defender on the best player in the building is on the bench.
Mooney's starting to find a little flow now. 31-22, biggest lead for Texas Tech. It's 9. There's Derek Culver, the big man, trying to get going. He's going to get to the line.
And here's the other issue West Virginia has is that half-court offensively, they're not very good. But they still can get in their pressure game, and they can use their length to create and force some turnovers, but they missed at the free throw line, and they haven't been able to set up their press.
Yay, a Bronx cheer for this crowd. You know what a Bronx cheer is? You're a guy from New York.
Yeah, well, it's not exactly what you're looking for, but these fans are a little frustrated tonight. The loyal students aren't here.
They're cheering those free throws like they're three-pointers.
Well, you have to cheer for something. Now they can set their press up. So, but with Harris on the bench, that's a major issue. And Jermaine Haley's going to have his hands full. He is not. The defender's going to stop Jared Culver, and right away they go right at him.
Culver scores.
That is way too easy. And Hug said, I'm not going to watch that. This game's going to be 20 soon, so he's going to put Harris back in right away, even with 4 fouls.
Red Raiders outscoring West Virginia 13-2 this half. And the Mountaineers don't have a field goal since halftime. Issa Ahmad, he'll try a 3. No.
That's just not the shot you want. He's 23% three-point shooter. He's got to go with buckets around the rim. He's got a size advantage, but he refuses to post up and be physical at the rim.
Timeout here in Morgantown. Jared Culver didn't have any points at halftime. He's got 4 now. And Texas Tech has its biggest lead. It's 9 points. To 2 run here in the second half for Texas Tech.
Well, when you don't have a point guard, things can be difficult if you're not creating things with your defense with turnovers, and they missed the free throws at Texas Tech. It was only a matter of time. They're going to get into a little bit of a flow offensively. Moretti and then Mooney and then Culver is just too dangerous out there to be held in check all night.
So Chris Beard's team has actually outscored West Virginia 19-2. Going back to last half, here's Mooney for 3 for the Red Raiders. That doesn't go. There's a good rebound for Wesley Harris, who's playing with 4 fouls. And West Virginia nearly turns it over. Derek Culver bails him out, goes to the rim, scores. And that is the first field goal for West Virginia since the 4:53 mark of the first half.
Well, it seems crazy to say to go make a guy that's only been on your team for about 3 weeks practicing and only played 2 games your go-to guy, but they need to go to Culver every time.
Only hesitated a little bit. That cost him, I think, as it rattles out. And then there's contact underneath against Texas Tech.
Texas Tech does not have anybody as a post player defensively. Now they're going to put Odiasi in to battle Culver inside, and he's got some foul issues as well. So if they can somehow space the floor and let Culver get a little bit of room down in the box, they can be a guy he can be a guy they can go to on every possession, because certainly they don't have any answers on the perimeter.
Odiasi with 4, Tariq Owens with 4. I wonder when Chris Beard might bring him back in. And of course, Jared Culver with 3. Wesley Harris has 4 for West Virginia. Jermaine Haley has 3. Harler has 3. Off the turnover, Mooney will be able to finish. Or Napper.
That's a grizzled veteran right there, just avoiding Napper, who's in position but slid to the side to avoid the charge.
West Virginia in real jeopardy now as they work it inside. Ahmad left it short. He is still scoreless in this game. He averages 14. And Harris scoring.
Good move by Harris. Under control, stopping in the middle lane with those 4 fouls with that jump stop. But they need Ahmad to get going. He's a senior. First Big 12 game in the donut so far.
Harris with 3 points. He also averages double figures. It's been that kind of night for West Virginia Stars. Mooney skip pass. A good shot fake by Moretti. Just ahead of the buzzer, misses the shot. West for three. And he's fouled by Mooney, who can't believe he did that. And that's his third.
Sorry, Clay. Mooney got right into his shot. He got a little too tight. That's West's spot there. That time West Virginia off the miss did a nice job of pushing it, pushing the pace. And first time in a long time, Texas Tech did not get their defense totally set.
This is the third time tonight I've seen a guy fouled on a three-point shot.
Well, it just goes to the list of all the cardinal sins of basketball that have been committed tonight, with the turnovers, fouling three-point shooters, missing free throws, missing easy layups, technical fouls, bad shot selection. What else do you want to talk about?
I covered the
and
gamut.
I'm trying to be positive.
Another foul shot here coming for Lamont West. And he's in double figures as he gets all three. It's a 7-0 run for the Mountaineers. And the fans have reason to cheer again here in Morgantown. Edwards trying to silence the crowd, can't do it. Tipped around, Harris had it momentarily. Now Napper comes out of there with it. Napper gives it away. Now Culver in free flight. Look out below.
Just a horrendous play by Napper. Just no angle there, nothing there. Just pull it back out and run your offense. Just force the issue there. You got them on the ropes a little bit. You're feeling good about yourself. The crowd's into it. Make sure you make the proper pass. You're the point guard.
That's where they really missed Javon Carter. And with 5 on the shot clock, West Virginia's going to have to inbound from the side. And we got a timeout with 12 minutes to go here in Morgantown.
Well, Javon Carter's not coming through that door, but somebody has to be a solid point guard for West Virginia for them to come back and win this game.
Williamson, size, athleticism, explosive power. Oh my!
Well, Saturday, 8 Eastern on ESPN. It'll be Clemson and Duke. Zion Williamson, the favorite to be player of the year in college basketball. We'll see if he can continue his stellar play. That's a game for Williamson against a team that he thought he was going to actually go play for at one time, Clemson.
Clemson faithful hoping that, but how about the ACC as Beadle sneaks one in over the rim. But the ACC, Duke, Virginia, Carolina, but Virginia Tech, watch out for them. They've got a lot of scores. Florida State is very, very good. I think Syracuse will get there. They'll start playing better, starting to play better lately. Another team to look for in the ACC.
So after the Bolden basket on one end, Moretti hits for Texas Tech. He's got 8 points. It's a 6-point lead for the Red Raiders. Feed inside. Shot is strong for Harris, and it's tipped out of bounds.
I think that's 5 on Owens.
It is. First player to foul out. We knew it was only going to be a matter of time.
The thing is, he made the great block. He came from the weak side, and then there's a little bit of contact. I didn't see much over there, but Chris is telling him you can't get yourself in that situation. But that's, you know, you put the guy back in the game with 4 fouls. He's playing instinctively out there on the floor. It's a pretty tough situation for him, especially West Virginia trying to go right to the rim.
He fouls out with 4 points and 4 rebounds as Derek Culver goes to the line for 2. This has been an Achilles heel for West Virginia in the game. 9 of 19 at the foul line.
Well, Owens comes from the weak side. He's jet quick on the elevation, just stays with it and gets into the body of Culver right in front of Doug Sermons.
Culver gets 1 of 2. Just over 11 minutes to go. Texas Tech trying to win in Morgantown for the first time in team history. They're 0-6 overall. Nice feed by Moretti across for Edwards. Edwards too strong. Get a wide open look. But it'll stay with the Red Raiders.
Boy, Moretti really has impressed me. Just his overall savvy, his use of ball fakes, making that extra pass. Just couldn't finish at the rim, but West Virginia again could not secure.
Doug Sermons and Bert Smith are talking about something.
Well, I think the thing they're wondering if the shot hit the rim. The clock is at 13, so they decided that that point blank shot did not hit anything.
Culver.
That didn't hit much either.
Yep. All of his points coming here in the second half. He's got 8.
He's got Harris backing up now because of that technical foul. He's got the 4 fouls. He can't be as aggressive on the wing, and Culver smells it.
And now Derek Culver, no relation. Well defended there by Texas Tech, but maybe too well. As Deshaun Corbrew picks up personal foul number 2.
And here, Derek Culver gets bailed out on the other end, but you see Wesley Harris just has to back up a little bit. Derek Culver, that's what he does. He creates that space, and he's got such a nice soft touch in the mid-range game.
9th team foul against the Red Raiders. And Culver's going to get the bonus.
Chris Beard was upset that they fouled in that trap. I mean, Culver was off balance. He really had nowhere to go. He did not have good position, and we're going to continue to send that double at him. He's just got to get a little bit lower down in the box so we can just turn and finish.
5-point game. On the shot clock.
West Virginia, it looked like they're in some sort of zone. It was kind of hard to tell because Haley was going back and forth at the top, guarding both Mooney and Moretti, but Texas Tech never changed sides of the floor to get the defense to shift. Now they're back in man.
Culver watched by Ahmad around a pick. 5 to shoot. Culver leaning back. In and out. And Derek Culver with the rebound for the Mountaineers. At the midway point of the second half. West, good fake, drives, big collision underneath. And that's on West. It's an offensive foul.
The whole world saw that coming, and this is what Hugs has been trying to get Lamont West to not do. He's got the open shot from 15 feet. Instead, he just puts his head down and plows through the defense. Turnover.
One and done of the Red Raiders got the courtroom miss. And the shot clock didn't get reset, I believe.
I don't think it never got started. It's still at 30 and the ball's at half court. There you go. 3 seconds. West Virginia better flow. Last few minutes going inside to Culver. They need to continue to do that because Odiasi's got 4 as well. If they can get him out of the game, then they really have nobody down low.
Harris can't get the basket, but he will get a trip to the line for 2. That's the 4th on Jared Culver's him.
Excuse me, Clay. It was very good offense here. A little back screen right out of transition. This is a set play. They're going right at Culver down in the box, and you just got to build that wall down there. He and Odiasi both with 4.
Let's get a shot of Coach Huggins. There goes Culver to the bench with 4. I want to see Bob Huggins right now. Jonesy, if you can shoot him, I want to see the look on his face. Especially after the 2 foul shot. We don't need to shoot play. It's the truth. Huggins right now is the show. He's absolutely livid.
Well, the defense has been better. Now there's another foul. They don't call it. They got to push the ball in transition. Texas Tech is gritty though.
Ahmad got it. The crowd comes to its feet. Chance of a 3-point play as this game on the scoreboard tightens up. And now, let's see if Ahmad can get the free throw.
Well, Texas Tech has 1 big on the floor, and basically 4 guards or a couple wings, and the rest are guards. So that's the simplest of basketball minds can tell you. You've got to do that. You've got to go into the paint. That's where Ahmad and Wesley Harris and Derek Culver can all do a lot of damage, and Chris Beard sees that. He needs to talk about it.
It's a 2-point game in Morgantown.
On the money. Oh my God! There's the tap. Oh! Incredible finish.
You can stream college basketball season long on ESPN Plus. Plus UFC debuting on ESPN Plus January 19th from Barclays Center. That's going to be good. There's also NHL there, mid-major college basketball. Just great content on ESPN Plus. If you don't have it, go get it. All right, so here we are in Morgantown, West Virginia. First game of the new year, Tim. It's been a beaut. The opener in the Big 12, Texas Tech and West Virginia in a cage match in honor of the late Mean Gene Okerlund, who passed away today. That's what we've got here, an old-fashioned cage match.
Chris Beard's just trying to manage this game and get out of here, because right now he's got 5 guards basically in the game. He's got no bigs on the floor. Odiasi's got 4. He's got Culver on the bench with 4. He's got to be very careful, but look at that. Right to the rim.
Scores. And he's fouled to boot. He's been one of the best players here tonight, Tim.
A terrific move away from the basketball, old school, cutting, passing, cutting. The man turns his head. He just went right over the top with the backdoor cut, and Haley just stood there watching the basketball, not knowing where his man was.
So Wesley Harris is out of the game. He fouls out, second player to foul out. Tariq Owens left a few minutes ago for Texas Tech. Harris fouls out with 3 points. So now Mooney at the line. Usually a pretty good foul shooter.
Sometimes it's just in the air. You gotta add to the disaster at the line. And right now, West Virginia's got to keep going inside.
Harlan. Tipped out. Kept alive by Haley. And he got it. Surprisingly, no whistle. There was contact. Gets the basket, and it's a 2-point game again.
And now West Virginia's got to be careful. They can't overextend. They're using all this length out on the perimeter, but looks like they're back in a little bit of a zone here at the top.
Now West Virginia can take the lead with a 3. They've only hit 3 tonight. They're 3 of 12 from outside the arc. West, yes! And West has 3 of those 3-point baskets.
Well, that's what West can do. Just spot up, get your feet set, lock and load from the perimeter. And this place got a little juice in the air now. Matter if they could just defend Texas Tech off the bounce.
First lead of the half for West Virginia. They're on a 10-2 run.
Now, they can't forget that They've got Deshaun Corprew guarding Derek Culver, giving up about 8-9 inches on the box.
Harler.
Look inside.
And a Derek Culver battling with Corprew. Left hand is strong. Tipped out. And Francis will track it down for the Red Raiders. Down 1. Just over 7 minutes to go.
Now, Texas Tech can get their buckets here by spacing the floor and then driving to the rim with their quickness.
Mooney threw it away. Timeout.
Well, points have been very difficult, especially real deal field goals, but this is a big money maker for Lamont West from his sweet spot.
Now Barry Brown and company getting ready to go in our game that's coming up next. K-State is hosting Texas. That follows us on ESPNU at 10 after they are scheduled to tip. So in about 15 minutes, we'll see if we're done here. We've got under 7 minutes to go in Morgantown.
A little bit of an OT feel here. The back and forth. And West Virginia really has changed their scheme offensively. Good job by Bob Huggins recognizing they've go right into Culver. Now he's guarded by Moretti on the box.
Another West Virginia turnover.
But you can't force the issue. If it's not there, you've got to be patient, reverse the floor, and then get that good angle inside. And just not a good play by West.
Francis for 3. Yes! Boy, Texas Tech needed that.
And West Virginia was in a zone. They just didn't shift. They looked a little confused on the weak side, and no one rotated up to the shooter.
Derek Culver was double teamed. He gave it off to West, who flushed it in.
Bob Huggins says, you know, he's a willing passer, about 2 out of every 3, and that was a real good look. He drew the double, split it, found the open man.
15 for Lamont West. And we're tied up. Loose ball. West Virginia's got it. They've got a break. West again.
Bob Huggins has made 2 real good moves. Number 1, going to the power game. Number 2, going to this zone with that length. He can't guard Texas Tech off the bounce. They're too big. They're not quick enough, but this zone is giving them problems.
Remember, Tariq Owens fouled out. Mooney. Nice fake by Francis. Swims out. Rebound Edwards. He can't get it to go. Tipped up by Odiasi. And the rebound is controlled by Derek Culver of West Virginia.
Well, Haley needs to take his time. There's nothing there. He needs to set the offense, go back inside, maybe go at Odiasi with the 4. Chris Beard putting them back in. They need somebody to put a body on Culver.
Harler comes away with it. Kicks it out. West again. And Mooney hustles it away from everybody.
Get an eye on this defense here. It looks more like a box. It's almost a box and 1 on Moretti. It's hard to really tell because they're not really moving the ball from side to side to see how the defense shifts. But Harler has been sticking with Moretti, and the other 4 are in a zone.
Nice save, Odiasi. Mooney tries again from 2. And it looked like Haley stepped on the line. Yes, he did.
Okay, what it is, Clay, it's a triangle and 2 on Mooney and Moretti. And the other 3 are kind of in a triangle with Haley at the top and the 2 bigs on the box in West and Culver. Now Chris Beard puts Jared Culver back in, and it'll be interesting to see if they stay in the triangle, and they do. They'll be aware of Jared Culver now.
Tech's gone more than 2.5 minutes without a field goal. Culver with 4 personals. Drives. Nice pass to Odiasi.
The defense got kind of confused on that possession. Texas Tech did a really good job, though. They spaced the court. They had some cutters through the middle of the floor, and it confused West Virginia. They played 2-on-1, allowed the easy penetration and dish.
That's a foul on Brandon Francis. And believe it or not, that's his first. We've had 44 combined fouls here tonight.
Well, after all this, we are tied. We got a little bit better offensive flow. Better passing, better finishing at the rim, little authority, and then Culver, the scorer, can dish as well.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
If you've been watching from the beginning, forget about it. If you're just tuning in, you brought it to the TV at a great time. We're tied at 48 with 3:40 to go here in Morgantown. Alongside Tim Welsh, I'm Clay Matvick. Texas Tech has never won in this building. If they do tonight, they will have earned it.
It's a grind. You know, they got everybody in the world in foul trouble. Tariq Owens basically didn't play tonight because he's already fouled out. Jared Culver's got 4. Odiasi's got 4. They've been playing with 5 guards at some point in this game. And West Virginia has basically played with 4 forwards and a big. They've got Harler in the game at the 2 to kind of give them a little stability on the perimeter. But really what has to happen is, number one, West Virginia's got to make the free throws, which they haven't done all night long. And they've got to continue in this triangle and 2 and make sure they stay stuck to Culver and the shooters on the perimeter. And in the half court, continue to go inside.
West Virginia 14 of 28 at the line as Ahmad splits those 2. They get the lead back, 49-48 Mountaineers. Season opener here in the Big 12. As that baseline shot goes for Culver. He spent a lot of this game on the bench. All of his points have come here in the second half.
Well, that's why he's so tough, because he's hard to guard because he's in constant motion and he finds his way sneaking behind on the short baseline, and the help came late.
He got the 2 personal fouls first few minutes of this game. Haley hits the 3. Those are his first points of the night.
And his first 3 on the season, so things are turning for the Mountaineers.
And foul on Haley, his 4th.
No, Culver is constantly moving without the basketball. That's how he drew that foul. And how he scored on the previous possession. He just kind of sneaks behind the defense, and Haley, instead of just staying solid, looks to overextend. The help comes late, and then he answers on the weak side. Odiasi just backs up. He says, this guy doesn't shoot threes, but he makes his first of the year.
And foul shot coming for Culver.
They're in that triangle and 2. And you're one of the guys guarded in the triangle. You can either stand still and just accept it, or you could become a screener and a guy who just keeps cutting through the defense and finds a way to get open. And that's what Culver's done.
Two and a half to go here at the Coliseum.
Texas Tech. It's a little 2-3 zone themselves, and now they're switching back to man.
Harler bumped by Francis, gets loose for a 3. That's a foul on West Virginia. Nope. No, that's Odiasi. They called it on Odiasi, and that's his 5th. He's out. So Bob Huggins' team gets a break this time.
Well, not only does West Virginia need to try to go into Culver now with Odiasi and Owens out with fouls, they've got to really crash the boards too, because right across the line they've got tremendous size advantage. And at times they've just stood around and try to enter the ball on the first pass, and they're going to try to move the ball from side to side, then go inside to get the defense shifted on the weak side to try to get an advantage on the glass.
There's Tariq Owens. He's out of this game for some time. He fouled out earlier here in the second half. Odiasi fouling out now with 2:22 to go.
It's interesting though, Chris Beard, they came down and they showed 2-3, but then on the first pass they switched quickly back to the man, and I don't think they ever got reset on the weak side.
Ahmad got them both.
Okay, the triangle 2. It's on Moretti and Culver.
Moretti, line drive triple.
Great offense by Texas Tech. They didn't feed into the triangle 2. They set a great screen. Moretti started on ball side in the corner. He came flaring up to the top. They set a little rub screen at the top on Harler, just enough to free up Moretti for the open shot.
11 points now for Moretti.
Well, one thing in the triangle 2 is you've got to set a lot of screens, and when you're one of the guys being defended by the 2 defenders in the triangle 2, the way you get open is set screens, and that's what Moretti did. He sets a little screen for Culver and just flares out and just gives him enough space. Harler got bumped at the top, and Moretti locked in.
Each team in the double bonus the rest of the way. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. 2:07 on the clock. 55-54 Texas Tech.
Really impressed with him play from a year ago. I mean, he made some big plays in March for Texas Tech. Chris Beard talked about that earlier today, you know, in the NCAA tournament. But he is a real good, solid guard who makes winning plays.
Texas Tech 11-1 on the year. Their only loss to #1 Duke.
Now they are in the 2-3 with no bigs up front, just trying to get West Virginia to shoot the ball from the outside.
Shot clock at 5. Ahmad goes inside and they turn it over as Culver couldn't handle it. Francis waits for reinforcements.
The lack of a point guard. Haley just never got him into an offense. They didn't get into their zone offense. They kind of stood, they froze, and then they forced the issue late.
Culver a little high on that pass. Francis made a great play to save it. Can't finish the layup. And West Virginia comes back with a chance to regain the lead. A little over a minute to go, and Bob Huggins wants to talk about this possession. Don't forget, coming up as soon as we're done here on ESPNU, Texas at Kansas State. There's Kerwin Roach, Snoop and the Longhorns ready to go on the road. Never easy to win at Bramlage.
Well, Kansas State without Dean Wade, but still they made a deep run to the Final 8 last year without Wade. And certainly got the guard power. But in this game right now, West Virginia, Hugs has got to tell him he's got to drop 2 plays basically, and they can't freeze and look at the Texas Tech defense and take 10-15 seconds to get into what they want to get into. And he's drawn up a specific set, probably something they can run either against man or zone, because 2 possessions ago they kind of stood around, they never got into a zone set, then they came down on this last possession. Texas Tech was back in man again, so it's a game of chess. But basically they've got to move the ball and then go inside quickly to see if they can draw the double, maybe open up something on the outside.
It'll be Harler to trigger it in from the sideline. Get in the backcourt for Haley. And West Virginia has 21 turnovers in this game. This is a huge possession. Can't give it away. Ahmad had it stripped, and they do turn it over.
Ahmad just kind of had his mind made up. Instead of just widening out on the perimeter and looking into Culver, he just put his head down, was loose with the ball.
Jared Culver off balance, off the window. Huge basket for the Red Raiders.
How about the perseverance? Playing with 4 fouls, no points in the first half, and contests, runs down the other end and partially blocks that shot in the corner.
And now Huggins throws down his notepad against the scorer's table, and West Virginia finally fouls with 24 seconds to go.
No points in the first half. Brutal foul trouble all night long. Never got frustrated though, and when you need a play at the end of the game, this man has made every one for Texas Tech.
Big free throw. And now it's a 2-possession game. 23 fouls, 22 turnovers for West Virginia, with 17 field goals. Culver gets them both. And the Mountaineers have to hurry. 20 seconds. Haley around the horn, gets it to West, step back three. Yes! Timeout, West Virginia. There's still life.
That was a good play by Haley. It looked like he was taking too much time, but he did a good job of drawing the defense. He got into the teeth of the defense, drew that defender, and had the presence of mind to find West on the weak side. It didn't force the issue, and West took his time, and now we're going to see a little pressure.
4-3 tonight for West. He's got 20 points, one of the bright spots tonight for West Virginia. Tonight at 1 a.m. Eastern, Sports Center. Stan and Neil take you inside Luka Doncic's amazing rookie season, plus the keys to the Chargers-Ravens rematch. And a look back at the 3 college football playoff matchups between Alabama and Clemson.
I'm hoping all these fans that are leaving have the ESPN app on their phone, because this is still a game, my friend. Keep the faith.
It's been an aggravating night, but this still could turn up roses here for West Virginia.
Well, that's the thing that fans, we all forget sometimes with the 3-point shot. The game can change quickly.
Well, Lamont West has been the guy from outside for West Virginia. He has 4 of their 5 3-pointers, including that last one, which made it a 2-point game. 14 seconds to go here in Morgantown. Texas Tech has the ball. West Virginia is out of timeouts. Texas Tech has 2 remaining. It'll be Mooney to inbound.
Well, West with that length up on the ball, that could be a problem. They've got to run the baseline.
They get it to Culver. And Culver is fouled by Haley. And that's 5 on Haley.
Culver is just so good at just started on one side and just flashed to the ball, made himself available. Everybody in the building knew he was going to get it, but he found a way to get open.
Culver has been terrific here in the second half. Got into foul trouble early in this ball game. Spent most of the first half on the bench.
Now, that's the mark of a great player, Clay. You know, when you get in foul trouble, just to be able to still withstand that, understand that you've got to still make plays when you come back in the game, and don't let that foul trouble ruin your whole night, because when you get back on the floor, you still have to be the player you can be, and he has been that for Texas Tech. You know, you see that in so many players, and you hear it and you read about it, you hear about it, you see it on TV, you watch games. Well, he got in foul trouble and just he never got into the flow. Well, Jared Culver did not let that foul trouble bother him one bit in the second half.
Well, Bob Huggins wants to bring in a defensive replacement. Brandon Napper is going to come in. Culver 5 for 5 at the free throw line. Still perfect. Huge free throws. Back to a 2-possession game with 13 seconds left.
I like this about Chris Beard. He is using this timeout to make sure his team understands the entire situation, not only defensively, but if West Virginia scores, what they need to do, setting up their press offense, telling them that they still have 1 timeout left if they need it.
Bob Huggins, who has been aggravated most of the night with the team's play, especially at the foul line. It's been particularly bad. So what's he talking about here with his guy?
Hugg's he's telling his team you got to drive the ball right to the rim and see if they present any resistance. Most of the time, when you have a 4-point lead with 13 seconds to go, you don't want to foul. You don't want to stop the clock. So teams take a little bit of a half step back defensively, so you can maybe get to the rim quickly and get a 2, and then set up your press and foul again, or maybe get a quick steal. But the one thing you don't want is just come down and fire up a horrendous 3, just thinking a 3 you're still behind. You might as well just get the easy 2 if they are going to allow it.
Beetle Bolden misses the 3. West the rebound. He is fouled and will go to the line with 5 seconds left. And that's not necessarily that bad of a foul.
It's not horrendous because you're still being physical, and you kind of got yourself in the middle there. You don't just want to back up and give them the 2, especially the way they've shot free throws tonight.
West has 20 points. He's 4 of 6 at the line.
Now what Chris Beard is telling his team is don't relax. Understand that they're probably not going to try to miss the second one on purpose, but the way they've shot the free throws tonight, there's a high probability they're only going to make 1 out of 2. So make sure you get that rebound, especially they are so small, with Culver being their tallest player on the blockouts.
Edwards just picked up his 5th, so he's out for Texas Tech. He is the 3rd Red Raider to foul out. But the guy that hasn't fouled out and has been the most important player here in the second half is Jared Culver.
There's no doubt. He just played with a lot of composure. He's been in and out of the game all night long with the foul issues, but he's stayed steady, and now he's basically playing center.
Got them both. 5 seconds to go.
Well,
2-point game.
They need to run the baseline here. Try to get the ball to Culver. Start opposite Culver. Let him run back to the basketball.
And Chris Beard wants to call a timeout to make sure they've got their ducks in a row.
Well, that timeout does you no good on the plane flying back to Lubbock. And I've seen a bunch of coaches lose games in the last minute. So far, even this season, multiple times where I'm like, why would you go home with 2 timeouts in your pocket and still lose the game? I mean, if you don't trust your basketball team, you have to make sure they know exactly what you need. Now, obviously, they need to get the ball in bounds now because they don't have any timeouts left. But I think it's more important to use the timeout now to make sure you draw up exactly what you want. You have to have your go-to press offense, pressure release play. You have to have one play that you know can guarantee gets the ball in bounds, and that's what he's doing right now.
Winner of this one gets to 1-0 in the Big 12. That first one's a big one. And Texas Tech, because they lost so many of their star players from that Elite 8 run last year, picked 7th in the preseason poll. West Virginia picked 3rd after a Sweet 16 run last year.
Now, one thing that Texas Tech needs to do on this out-of-bounds play is they need to run the baseline. Matt Mooney's taking it out, and Chris trusts him to take it out, obviously. Put your guy there, and I'm surprised they're not putting Lamont West on the ball, but they're putting West out on the floor here. He's going to be in the denial and look for a deflection, possibly.
Mooney got it in. There's a foul. And this is going to go against West Virginia. Bob Huggins can't believe it. Our 50th foul of this ball game is going to go against the Mountaineers.
West Virginia did a real good job. They switched off the ball, but Bolden started on the basketball, and then he switched out on the perimeter, or excuse me, out in the middle lane. He gets run over by Culver. And Doug Sermon says he stepped into his path and never was in a legal guarded position.
Moretti can ice this one.
I mean, that is excellent coaching by Bob Huggins. They knew exactly what Texas Tech was going to run, and He used Bolden as a decoy on the ball. I kind of wondered why was he on the basketball. He wasn't going to present any problems, and he got off the ball, and he was solely in there to take that charge, but they didn't get it. Here comes the look for the three.
Game over. Texas Tech escapes with their first win in Morgantown in program history. It was ugly, but they got it. 62-59. The Red Raiders go to 12-1. West Virginia falls to 8-5. Coming up next, Texas and Kansas State. Let's go to Bramlage in Manhattan.